is brought to you in part by Alienware, Microsoft, CyberPower PC, Logitech G, PaySafeCard, The Score Esports, and NVIDIA.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the coverage of the ESL One New York group stage here, obviously live from the Cologne studios before we kick things off tomorrow at the arena itself. My name is Mitch Leslie. I'm here with Chad Sponge Birchill, and now an interesting game to come up here. A bit of a rematch, actually, from back in ECS. I believe it was in the finals, in fact. Liquid versus, was it the finals? Maybe not, maybe just through the season. That's what it says, I think. Anyway, G2 versus Liquid. They have played before. They traded blows very heavily last time they went head-to-head, and Liquid is definitely not the team that they were to take second place in ESL One Cologne.
No, they've had to go through a lot of changes. When you lose a player like Simple, you know, it's hard to adapt. You need your other players to step up a lot more. Pimp, he's a good player, but he's no Simple, you know. There's not many players who are as explosive and have as much potential as Simple does. And they kind of had a weird bromance going on with Simple and Hiko, so that kind of added to the atmosphere of the squad right now. So I don't know how Pimp fits into that. But G2 are going to be disappointed. You know, they had that game in the bag last time versus Astralis, and then it kind of all disintegrated and fell apart. Made some poor T calls. They were always playing catch up, and when Astralis were making reads like they were, it's hard to get a victory. But I just got a question. Have you ever been to New York?
No.
Would you like to go?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. It would be an interesting place, I think.
Yeah, it'd be bloody good.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad.
Anyway, speaking of other events coming up later on as well, we do have Intel Extreme Masters Oakland, which is just around the corner. So you'll still be able to get your fix of CS action following ESL One New York. It's going to be November 19th and 20th in the Oracle Arena. CS is making its return to the Bay Arena. We've already got SK Liquid, Virtus Pro, Astralis, Ninjas in Pajamas, who are conspicuously absent from this particular event. G2, Na'Vi, and Mouse Sports are going to be ready, so you can get your tickets at iemoakland.com. Not an event to be missing. Hopefully we get to go to that one, Chad.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Anyway, let's take a deeper dive into this game here as well. I mean, G2 versus Liquid, like I said, yeah, it was ECS Season 1 finals they played. And they traded blows pretty heavily back and forth here. Now, saw the last map. We talked a lot about what we expect from G2, or what maybe their fans will expect. We need to see your Shoxes and your Screams be standing up there.
Scream had a great game. Yeah. Scream was on fire.
But Shox,
really good. Shox, you know, you can't always expect him to be topping the scoreboard. He has got a lot of weight on his shoulders in that sense, and he is a star performer. It's good when you see him play because he pulls off things that nobody else can do. You know, you go through the rest of this roster, you got Smiths. He's a bit of a he comes from the community, but like you said, he does play a role, and he isn't a bad AWP from time to time. We saw him whiff a lot of shots that he should have hit, and hit shots he shouldn't have before. So that's interesting. Didn't see a lot from Body in that last match, and RPK he got that 4K from Goose, but that was about it in their last match. On the other side, JDM, pretty quiet as well. Nitro was quiet. We saw Pimp, and then obviously Elige, he's doing his thing. He was slamming that last match, but unfortunately couldn't really help them out against Na'Vi.
It's something we actually see from Elige fairly often, you know. He is that kind of player that has those big performances. The problem is that the times that these performances from Elige stick most in your mind is when he's the only one on his team doing it.
Yeah. So you don't really want that. You want to be contributing when you're winning, right?
Yeah, and if you're him, you're just like, well, what's the bloody point in this kind of thing?
Kind of sucks, but at the same time, people don't really... This is why players look inconsistent, right? So if you play a certain T style, and maybe, you know, let's use the map of Dust 2, for example, and you're able to get up cat a lot of Ts, and you're the player that drops off and you push up the ramp and you're always catching players off guard, right? Then you're going to get more kills than that. But if the other team, they adapt to that, they don't give you, the ramp player, any chance to get a frag, and they play retake, and then you just die in the retake, then your frags aren't going to be the same as if you're versing, you know, different styles. So people look at it and they go, oh, you know, he's inconsistent, this, that, and the other. But Counter-Strike is so deep that there's so many T styles, CT styles, all that kind of stuff that you have to think about.
Well, let's have a look at the video here now as well, because what I find so interesting about this is that Liquid's best map of late is G2's Instaban, right? They play in Mirage in the Pro League recently, and they didn't want to. They messed up the veto process there as well. So there it is. Straight away, you ban that one out. If you're GT, you don't want to play it. Overpass being banned here by Liquid. Now it's just getting out the maps out of the way that you just straight up don't want to even touch.
I think G2 will probably get rid of Cobble as well. That's not a terrible map for Liquid. Like Elige plays that platform area quite well at B. Dust 2, if you were Liquid and Cage, they used to be staple maps, right?
Yeah.
But we've seen them shy away from Cage. There it is. I don't know if they'll want to play Dust 2 against G2, which is probably one of their strongest maps, if not their strongest. So that's going to leave what? Train and Nuke?
I think it's got to be Train then in that case. So Liquid actually banned Dust 2 out. I mean, that's probably one of the points where these guys map pulls into Sect a little bit more, so it's reasonable. Nuke would just be quite strange to see in general. That's kind of, throwing a bit of a weird one in. So we go to see Train here as well. And what's your take on Train then between these two teams? I mean, it's maybe, a lot of people would have seen the two and said, we'd throw Mirage out, throw Cash out, then it's quite likely that we sort of are going to see a Dust 2. But with that out of the mix there, I mean, what's your take on this one?
Yeah, so the way that G2 play their Train is quite passive. They like to boost Scream in Connector. He sits up on that little ticket box boost thing, whatever you want to call it. He sits up there getting the headshots from that point, so that negates any set executes. RPK likes to be quite passive at Ivy. He likes to sit back and then form crossfires. I think the X factor for me on this map is how Liquid approach their T side, because in the past when I versed them and practiced against them, it's quite quick. They like to do these set executes at T mid. I know Peacemaker had a couple of good executes that he used to use when he was part of Immortals or what were they called? Games Academy.
Yep.
And that kind of came across. I remember playing Liquid when they were doing the smoke on the top of that 5 train to stop people being able to see the push and stuff. And I thought that was pretty unique, but it's very easy to defeat if you know it's coming, There's lots of little ways to counter that. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to lean towards G2. I feel like they played a better brand of Counter-Strike against Astralis. We only really saw Elige firing so far for Liquid. JDM, he's really important on this map. His AWP. I like to stick on the AWPers, especially on this map, because they can get so many picks or they can be very instrumental. It's quite a long-range map. But if you know how to play around that, which G2 should do, they might be able to avoid him altogether.
And we can expect to see, I believe it's the Body and Shocks that play on the B side generally for G2, if memory serves. So Shocks is often put in that, well, it really depends sometimes, I think, but I often see Shocks put in that position of first contact, right? It's the H2 train, the one right near the opening of the ramp room where people come down, where you often see Shocks has to play, this is a really hard position to play in general here, but for him, we've seen him come up with innovative ways to try and get around his opponents on that one. So he's just standings as well. So obviously, we're going to have 4 teams at 1 and 0. Mm-hmm. We're going to have 2 at 0 and 2 and 2 at 1 and 1 after that one as well. So we'll start to keep churning through those. Following this map, there's still 3 more to be played today. So we've got a marathon here from Europe, which, as you can imagine, is getting a little bit late in the evening, but we've got a good Counter-Strike to keep us going, and that's all we really need in life. Isn't that right, Chad?
Yeah, so whoever loses this match will face off against Optic. So it's most likely going to be the 2 North American squads. Mm-hmm. I know I'm making that call a little bit early, but that's the way I see this one going. And then the loser of that match tomorrow is out of the tournament.
Right.
So it's getting pretty cutthroat already. It doesn't seem like we're that many matches in. We've seen, and every match is like a very important game because you want to get through this as quickly as possible. You don't want to show what you're bringing to this LAN. You don't want to have to play too much. You don't have to exert yourself.
I mean, just go 3-0 and don't have to play 5 games like the teams that have to fight from that 2-2 position. Sort of when you're 2 and 2, that's when it gets really awkward. You're the last teams to play. You've had to play the most games, and it's one win you qualify, losing you're out. That's about as thin as a margin as you can get.
Yeah, well, what are the upper bracket kind of thing, the winners matches we get to see? We're going to be doing the Na'Vi versus Virtus, which should be a great game based off what we've seen from these guys online and recently. And then the one after that would be the SK versus Astralis match,
Yes.
So that would be interesting as well because both teams, SK and Astralis, play more, I guess, a strategical style than, say, like a Fnatic or a VP who are more decision-based and they play together and trade out.
I want to see Train between Virtus Pro and Na'Vi. I want
have Train all day, man.
Yeah, honestly, just because I want to see, if the problems with Na'Vi are themselves or Fnatic just outplaying them every time we see them on that map. Well, I don't really know. We're going to find out, though, ladies and gentlemen. Quick, though, of course, we're going to take a halftime break before the game, so you get a whole 2 halves of uninterrupted CS action. We'll be back after a short one.
ESL One New York is brought to you in part by Alienware, Microsoft, CyberPower PC, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, The Score Esports, and NVIDIA.
We're back here, ladies and gentlemen, with the ESL One New York coverage. Here, it's the group stages, of course. It's the Swiss stage, a grueling challenge for any of these teams that want to make it through to the semi-finals. And we'll see how that all ends up at the end of day 2. But for now, we do have a match here between Team Liquid and G2 Esports. Both these two teams, well, sort of teetering a little bit back and forth. Not great opening games here, but the winner will go 1-1 and start to solidify a bit and give themselves a decent run at day 2.
Yeah, I think G2, you know, they'd be relatively happy with the train pickup. It's not a super good map for them in the sense of it's not their go-tos, but I think they'll be comfortable on it, especially against the style that Liquid are going to bring. I'm really interested to see who picks what side on the knife round, because with the knife rounds, right, if you pick the side and then you start losing, let's say you pick CT and you lose pistol round, you lose the first gun round, let's say it's 6 rounds down, it starts to get a bit of doubt in your mind, like, do we make the right choice of picking the easier side first? Should we start it on T side with the momentum-based stuff? So the knife round can sometimes be a bit of a curse if you win it. I used to like losing it so the other team could pick the side to start.
When you can play like the mental mind games and see.
You just get whatever you get, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice not to have to worry about deciding, but Liquid will be in that perhaps unenviable or enviable position of deciding, and they will opt to stay from the looks of things. Just wait. I haven't quite decided yet, but Team Liquid stay on towards that CT side. They are ready to go. G2 on the T. So we'll see some of this. I mean, in my opinion, in recent times, the T side for G2 has been a little bit more rounded, robust, more aggressive and dynamic than their CT side. But that last map from them, a little bit of concerns for me there as well. I mean, we saw them fall apart to Australis. It's no mystery that the T side was quite weak. But let's see if it has the potency here to set Team Liquid off kilter early in the game now as we get right into the pistol.
A little bit of different speed here from G2. They've opted for 2 lots of utility. They got some nades on body as well as Smith, so they have an execute in mind here. They're not just playing it fast and loose like they normally would. They've got a plan, and that's good to see. Nitro didn't buy a defuse kit. What's going on there? Oh, he dropped. Did he drop something? Yeah, he dropped something. That's all right. We're making sense here. They're making their way slowly towards the inside.
The JDM's got armor in 5.7. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So no sweat there, mate.
It looks like a P250. You know, it's hard to tell.
Pimp, though, opens up nicely with that first pick, and he backs away accordingly now. And JDM, I mean, this is the brawler. This is, I guess, a bit of the new age raid boss now. Sans Tech 9 coming in with the 570. Finds body, gonna start slap away those shots. 10 of them come out, and he just doesn't even get the kill now. Oh, that's kind of taken the brunt out of his push. He gets 1 kill. He's going to run out of bullets, though, and Scream's going to make sure he runs out of blood, too. 3v4. Elsewhere, though, Elijah's found RPK because he himself has tried to take advantage of that weird situation by getting some kills in. This is good. G2 now running out of options, and they're being cordoned off here inside towards these brown halls. Elijah's backing away. More than happy to get away with his life here, and now it's G2 just chasing after him. He's like catnip.
They need to find him right now because he can just pounce at any moment. He can give the information of where they are, and he's in a very instrumental position. He's going to come up behind the bomb. The bomb will be down right now. Screaming a 1v4 situation. A lot of work to do. He knows where Elige was.
Well, now he has to try and win out this one. He's got the healthiest as well, so should be able to win it, but Elige finds him there. Nicely done. 3 for Elige. JDM was supposed to be the spearhead of that push, but Elige, again, gets himself involved, gets 3 kills and shuts G2 Esports down on that CT pistol. Very nice. Scream wants to know how much HP. I'm sorry, your one taps, my friend, were not quite that sharp in that round. Elige coming out relatively unscathed, considering it was a messy pistol. So, WMP board in. 2 M4s and a scout for JDM here as well. He has his kit this time. No worries about that one.
What happened to JDM there, that whiff from behind? He saw 2 guys on his screen and panicked and shot 10 bullets, like you said. Only landed, what, 2 of them? Maybe 3 at most. And could have taken his time, taken them out systematically, but he rushed it and...
he just maybe wasn't expecting them to be there. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes you know they should be there in theory. You still don't expect to see them.
Force buy right now coming out from G2. They look like they want to go for an inside execute. Everybody's in the brown walls ready to go. And Hiko the Rock, he's sitting close, ready to receive.
Yep. It's going to be the execute coming out now as well. Fairly common with the pistol. Forcing round 2, and Hiko, well, he's not really flashed, he's not really affected. That's that flash. That's going to force him back here. He can't really get involved in the first bit of the fight, but at least gets himself a 3-man spray down. It's 4 for him. It's just a little bit too easy right now, and that is stat padding in its finest. He might even be allowed to get his 5th here now. His body finds Hiko, who just really was a spectator to the carnage being dealt by Lige. And he actually backs over towards A and sees if he can catch the last player here. So G2 run straight into a wall. They break like waves upon the cliffside, and that's a nice way of putting what happened to them in that round. Have a seat, Body. Solid start for Team Liquid. 2 rounds to none here, and a 7 kills for Lige in the first 2. Allowing him to make a little bit of money. Sadly, I was more so with the M4, not with any other gun, not with a UMP, not with an SMG, but still money is money, and he's got plenty of it.
Yeah, it's good to see teams starting to pick up a few more rifles. Oh, we got a replay.
Yeah, mate, this is the real thing. You can just see Lige. We was off camera for that one as well. Hiko.
Well, Pimp got 4 assists. We should know that as well.
Okay, there in that round.
Let's look at this right now from G2. They haven't even invested in a single flash. Like, Body could have bought a flash, and they could have done a flash pounce and tried to get 1 kill. You're not going to get a lot done with 5 Glocks versus the alligator of Hiko sitting at low ramp.
Flash in the hand is worth 10 in the shop, mate. That's the way it goes. Tico, they're going to come forward, though. It's the auto shotgun coming out. He gets 2. Not a bad way to take some of the momentum away. And Smith's falls as JDM tagged him on the way down. Oh, shocks. Probably not the way he would have liked that to have gone there. Gets cut down by Pimp, who's going to go for a quick defuse here. Not too worried about time, not too worried about the flames licking his legs for the last couple ticks of the Molotov here. So for Liquid, it's been a very clean first few rounds here. Only losing, I think, Hiko in most of those last 2 rounds, and he himself got himself 2 kills in that round. So no one complaining on the side of Team Liquid, and the Bald Eagle starts to rear his head here. But this is where G2 fight back. Straight into the AWP for Smiths. No messing about. He's -1.
You'd be ecstatic with that plant that they just got then with the 5 Glocks. So Hiko had some unlucky timing there. Pulled out a nade just as they came down the low ramp. Caught him by surprise. Still managed to get 2, but probably would have wanted a few more. The alligator chomps pretty hard.
It does a couple quick kills for him. I mean, to be fair, that's kind of what you expect. It makes him a decent amount of cash here. Enough that the M4 is sort of now to hand. 3 kits here for Liquid if that's going to be required. And a 2-man push down Ivy here. Smith, slow and steady. Going to work with Body here, as one may expect. Flash comes in. That's forced Nitro to the side. JDM could come in with that off peak there as well. Completely flashed. Smith tries to take a shot, but really shooting at nothing in particular. And there's the smoke. So, very minimal progress being made there by G2 on the outside of the map, and JDM will be just watching over this one there as well. He'll be standing guard. So if G2 want to push Ivy, it's going to be, well, about 1 minute left in the round when they do that. So not great timing-wise. Nitro will be left as the backstop here with the UMP. Either he makes money, or he drops a cheap gun and gives the alarm up to the rest of Liquid.
JDM's really aggressive towards Timid with that AWP. He'll be able to grab anybody who tries to walk out without a flash or any form of jiggle peeking. They're doing a really good job at delaying right now, Liquid. They've got everything covered. They're just waiting out the clock, not getting aggressive, and G2 have to make a decision pretty soon.
Yeah, nothing for Ivy. They're going to back up here as well, and maybe they're just going to settle themselves with the B here in towards Whitehorse as they go. And Pimp's just made his way over towards his B side here as well. Be backing up Hiko. He's got a bit more of a back position. He's not playing too aggressively in this case, not as he was with the UMP earlier on. So he's not susceptible to, you know, being caught with a nade in his hand right in front of the one avenue of approach here. But Shock just walks straight in, confident as you like there. May as well have a top hat and a rep stride down his pants. It's going to be RPK to find Pip early on, but Shock's a little bit caught. Still, RPK doing a lot of work from upper. That was not being watched sufficiently by Liquid. And despite Hiko getting 2, it's only 2 left for Team Liquid to fight back.
Elijah on the flank right now. He is going to be greeted by Smith playing a very interesting off angle. Oh,
that's nice.
Little flick up there, and it's a 1v2 situation for JDM.
Flash in. JDM not affected by it there as well. Just the fringes of smoke as he's worked his way around. Now, he's made his presence known here, so Body knows this. Smith should be ready to take a peek. He misses that shot, though, and JDM doesn't know the Body's been lurking here, but Body misses some shots. A lot of shots, in fact. Now JDM goes for the pistol, but Body manages just to, well, give an account for himself and try and stand tall in that moment. So that is G2 getting their first here. And it was just better trading on towards that B side, essentially. Get themselves decent guns, work their way through. Managed to catch Pimp out very early on that push.
Yeah, most teams will use the smoke grenade coming down low ramp from the T's as a tell of when the execute's coming. What G2 seemingly did there was they just had the AWP post up and cover the connector/hump area, and then Shox was just able to run down, no smoke used, and then Hiko's caught out of position because he would play reactive Counter-Strike based off what's thrown at him, or that was the setup that he was going for that time anyway. So if you get lazy or if you predict something and you're not actually watching low ramp, you can be exploited, and RPK coming out grabbing 2 headshots always seems to help.
Yeah, the control of upper there as well was pretty good. The timing also worked in his favour. So JDM flashed away from that little gap. Couldn't find anything with the pixel shot. But still, it's going to be here. Nitro working this one. Now Flash comes in. Shox turns it through. Brickson gets taken down by Nitro. Now he's going to back away here as well. RPK left on his own. He kind of has to make something in this situation now. He's already lost the 1 player. But no. Just going to back away from Ivy now. And look at Liege. This is the Wenton position we were seeing earlier on here. Really good to cut down early pushes, providing he's not picked off from one of the sides. And RPK trying to take matters into his own hands here, along with the AWP drop from Shox. The Smith's doing good work with his own on the other side of the map here. The double AWP for G2. If we didn't highlight that at the start of the round, they do want to make some picks here. And that's why RPK is so adamant remaining in Ivy.
Yeah, really weird to see Hiko go for an aggressive pick. He's known for being very passive, Oh, Molotov's out of position, and Elige gets slammed by Scream. He's found another one in the cutout section of the map, and he's going to get up on the train and look for this frag.
I mean, RPK needs to push on Ivy now. He's made good progress. He's gotten rid of the AWP, gone for the AK now as well, so it's just going to be down to brawling here for G2. Scream and RPK can pinch quite nicely here, but JDM's watching RPK's position. 1 shot is all he needs, but 1 shot's all he's going to have here. Not enough. Nitro gets 2, though. That's huge. Turns things around now. It's a 1v2. Smith with the AWP. Going to chase down with a pistol. He gets it, and it's going to be Pimp now, just on the other side of the A site. The bomb is still a ways away. He's going to hear that Smith is making his way back over towards White Halls. I think that's where the bomb is.
Has to save.
No time. There was just no time left for G2. They spent so much time trying to work these picks with the AWPs that it ended up working against them.
I don't know whose job it was to take the bomb then, but they were way too focused on their crosshair. I think you always want the bomb to be a little bit closer to the action than that, especially once people are committing. Someone has to be mindful of it.
It's a throwaway
It was
round.
hard for him to win that round anyway. It was a 2v1 situation, but at least having the bomb gives you a chance right there. They didn't even give themselves that.
Is that an always save situation as well? If you're Smith's in that position?
If he hunted for the kill, found himself in the open, and then went down after the time, that's so much worse.
Right.
Holding onto an AWP, head armor, lots of nades, gives them something to work with in this round. The risk almost isn't worth it.
G2 already kicking themselves about that. They bought 1 AK in, but that was Shox, and he's already tagged down to 42. He's legged as JDM catches him as he crosses. Bit of a mixed position here as well. Nitro comes in, spray down. He gets himself 2. 1 shot towards the head of RPK, and Elise finds Shox elsewhere now. Well, G2 are split.
Ouch.
Like a banana, but a scream going to come through. Not enough, though. As the Deagle, there is no follow-up to the kill on Elise. Now Smith is going to charge forward. The bomb is a long way away from him. He must challenge. He's flashed immediately, and he's just completely at the mercy of Team Liquid, who waste no time in putting him on his rear end.
I don't understand that. You save an AWP, something that you want to use long range, and you see it picks to open up the map, and everybody else dies before the AWPs even had an opportunity to shoot or go for a pick at all. Like, I know they got smoked off and they were taking a risk to go through it, but if you save a weapon like that, you want to try and use it to its full potential. They didn't even try that at all.
Weird round for G2, and just a huge opportunity going by the wayside as well. Sure, they had to force back into that one. It was a mistake made in the round prior. In round 5, but of course, they didn't have the bomb to hand. Elise, though, coming in. It's the Mag 7. Just 1 shot, and he's happy enough with that one backing away. Now, the spray through the smoke. G2 can't actually see him, but managed to take him down to just 27. Elise backing away here.
Push back in there, mate. You know you want to.
Oh, I'm sure he's thinking about it, but Simple's not on this roster, so I don't know if anyone's really going to showcase that particular kind of play. It's going to be a B hit here. Hiko's going to be ready. First spray down is good. Second not forthcoming now is to change his position, and Smith catches him off there. Pimp responding, finding Smith there. Nothing but the Tech 9 to hand for Smith, and not enough. A second for Pimp now, starting to show off a little bit. The young Dane firing up, and JDM responds as well. The double AWP massacres G2.
It's a really dangerous combo to deal with the double AWP, especially on this map. It's so versatile, so many places you can pick with it. If you're going to set up in passive holds, once you have the sight, I know they're only on pistols, it's easy to get picked off. And shooting ducks there for the Liquid guys as they get their 6th round pretty easily.
Oh my God, they're finding a lot more of these than even they expected, I guess, especially with the way the start of the game went. G2 lost the pistol, had to accept 3 rounds would go by, and then just couldn't string them together. They're going to come in with the AKs here. Smith could have afforded an AWP. He chooses not to go for it.
Yeah, they must have a strategy in mind. They might want to do something fast, or they're going to do a set execute where having AKs is more beneficial to the team than that AWP.
Well, we'll see. See if they have that mobility, the ability to get aggressive on towards that side and maybe not waste too much time. Molotov thrown in towards Brown Halls. A lot of Molotovs, in fact, as Shock steps over one himself. Fortunately, only a little bit of burnt rubber from his boots in the air, and that's all. But Body trying to enter, gets in through Ivy, gets one. That's going to make him a little bit weaker there, but Hiko responds with his second. There it is, coming straight through. Lee's helping him out, but Shock's and RPK quick to try and pacify. And now it's just the two AWP players here for Liquid to try and shut this one down. The bomb is not to hand. That's the problem here. JDM could, in theory, catch RPK as he tries to go for the bomb. And then since the Molotov into Pop Dog here.
Oh. All right, we're back. It just lagged for a second.
All right.
RPK got the bomb. I thought we were completely stuffed there. But you were spot on, and they're able to pick up that frag from the flanking JDM and get the bomb. So this should be in full control right now as they know where the last player is. RPK is going to get that bomb. He's going to head towards the inside side and get it down as Shox is keeping Pimp pinned at Ivy.
Pimp's going to struggle here. I mean, it was a pretty tough flick to make. I'm pretty sure he's he's had to flick up a good, I don't know, 5 meters vertically there to find that shot in towards heaven. Not always easy to do. 5 minutes in game, of course. Not 5 meters, not on your mouse pad. It's not that big. But pause comes in here. And that's a Liquid pause coming through. So something, they've encountered something that perhaps has given them pause for thought or a reason to call this timeout. Also money, not terrible, but in a little bit of a weirder spot. I mean, Pimp and Leash have it all, so they can drop out. So does Nitro. Not an issue here. So Hiko gets a gun.
Yeah, they could just be taking a pause at one of the four right now. Peacemaker could be on the mic, giving them the information, telling them what he thinks they should do. This is a good time to use it, you know. Now, you get a bit of, you know, freedom with the pauses now. It's not a do or die kind of thing. It's not like, hey, we're in the bin.
Got much more, yeah.
Yeah, we can take this one. We can chill out for a bit. We can hear from the coach, and it's nice and easy. Screen, yeah, I think that was yeah, that was a tactical pause. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's what teams are confused. Like, was that attack? You're still ahead by so much. But as soon as, you know, you're Liquid and you encounter something unexpected from G2, you have the option to go for the pause there and get the coach's input on that one as well. And we'll see how they want to adjust to it here. Double AWP comes straight back in here. So JDM and Pimp making it work. Although in that last round in the 2v2, it really didn't. But they did have both of their positions given away for them earlier on. So that might have affected things. 4 to A at the moment. It's going to be Nitro again watching towards Ivy, and Scream opens up with a Molotov here as well, sending it straight down towards A. Smith is flashed out, and JDM has the first peek here. He has the line. Maybe a slight off angle to flick, but we've seen him be able to net these.
The thing which I'm really curious about is G2 have had success like pinning down Hiko inside, you know, negating him to 1 or 2 kills or taking territory off him. If they had an execute, like if you're running low on money and you're only able to grab like a few AKs and maybe a couple of flashes or whatever, try an explosive strat on him and see if you can catch him off guard. Right now, I can see why they're going for more of a default play. They have utility to work with, and they might have an idea.
He saw that coming. JDM saw that coming. The decoy player jumping across, and the flick was there. And Lee's now is looking for that second man. He won't find him immediately inside this room. And Scream will look to challenge here and just make the headshot easily enough. Or at least that's what he's probably playing out in his head right now. But he's, for some reason, he's not going for this one. He's backing up. Doesn't want to give away a second and make it a 5v3 here. So good patience from the Belgian. He's seen Body there. He's spotted him out there. I think Body was trying to set an 8 up or something. At least doesn't go for it, interestingly enough, and Scream tries to go forward. Finds it, Elite just already absconded. He's left, and Pimp, he gets that kill on towards RPK, who was trying to work his way up on upper. So now, G2, pressure coming in. 30 seconds left in the round. They're playing this slow, and it's not working.
They had the fast round, and it was so successful for them. They were able to open up space and make trade frags, but going slow, they've been picked off, and now we've got a 2-on-4 situation as Nitro will dispose of Shox, and so much work to be done right now.
Elige was ready for that one. Hiko chiming in with the Famous. He's been a little bit poorer than the rest of his team, but gets it done regardless. The double AWP is also maintained into this one. And a pause. G2 now going to call a pause. Fair enough.
This could become comical. We could see 8 pauses used in a map.
It's 4 per half, isn't it, each?
I think it's 4 overall, right? 4 overall for the whole game. Unless I misread the strat.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. So, you know, yeah, 4 per half, like 2 for each team, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know the rule exactly to the letter, but...
This is like, it's not a tech pause, so we kind of know there's a prescribed time limit for it, so I don't really mind it too much.
You know, I think it's good. It gives us a chance to talk about the pause itself.
Yeah, there we go.
I think, though, G2 need to keep it quite fast. That was where they had success, and if they can do that and throw in fakes off of that or throw in variations of it, they can catch Liquid off guard. The issue is at this level of Counter-Strike, the CTs are adjusting, you know, from round to round. If they lose one, they're automatically adjusting. They're not going... Most teams won't be so hard-headed and try and stick with the same thing unless somebody puts their hand up and goes, hey, look, I stuffed up, I missed a shot. You know, that won't happen again next time.
Well, coming back into it, it's a 5-round deficit here for G2. It's 7-2 on the scoreboard. Now, G2 only can really go for pistols here. Their economy, as well, to be fair, has been slowly ground down. It's been a war of attrition that the French and Belgian mix have not been able to achieve. The victory in PG.
It seems to me like the G2 side are just going for heads-up picks, right? They're not really using too much utility or set moves to take the map off of Liquid on the gun rounds. That's a nice shot by Scream. That's what you need more of.
Whoa! How about that one?
Yeah, if you got a third, that would have been impressed. Two's average, you know?
Two's medium largeness on that one. Shox now, well, he's behind E-Box and the bomb's kind of on the other side. And the nade comes straight on through as well, cuts him down. That's frustrating. So Body, I wouldn't have minded talking about Body for a bit there, but no point. He gets cut down by Hiko rather quickly there. Again, not much you can really do. G2, hopefully we're discussing this round more than anything in that little timeout, because now they need to respond. It's when you see something unexpected, when you see something that you don't quite know how to respond to on the fly, it's about taking this time to respond. But JDM and Pimp still wielding the double AWP, but Elige, he's 12-4, but bear in mind that 7 of those 12 kills came in, what, the first 2 rounds?
Yeah, he slowed down a little bit, but this lead from Liquid it's fantastic. They got to be really happy with this. They've been able to reset G2 every time, which means they're fighting pistols a lot of the time, and that's ideal. You know, if you can keep the other team from planting, if you can force their economy to be in tatters the whole game, you're going to run away with it. So even if they lost this round and then reset them in the next, it's all good.
Looking good for Liquid. Now it's going to be a slower round from G2. Again, another slow one. And again, they're looking to try something here at Ivy. The nade bounce back hurts Body pretty badly, and there's going to be a flash set up for JDM in a moment there as well. He sees that one come through. There is nothing, we're not seeing really much from G2 that's actually able to get the better of this. Now, at least it's a trade, right? Nitro peeks out there and Smith finds him, but JDM was the one with the AWP. He found that first pick towards Body. So Smith is like, well, we're T-side. We got ourselves a 1-for-1 trade over through Ivy. Maybe now we can focus our attentions elsewhere, but Pimp shuts down. He was sitting right back over towards T1, and he sees the player pick from Pop Dog, and Elige forward positioning. Nets him 2 kills, easy enough, and Shox has the challenger with an AK. Not a lot else to work with, and even he can't get it done. Elige, well, talking about a little bit of a slowdown, he's picking up pace yet again now with 3 for the round. Ellie
Giggle, having a good game. Good to see, you know, he's a sprightly young lad. But G2, it's like their plan is, let's go and shoot them. You know, they're not using... I know that's the goal of Counter-Strike, to shoot the baddies, right? But you need to have an idea of how you want that to unfold. Sure, they got that early trade, but then they were just stepping out one at a time, hoping that they would find picks. And instead, trained and ready, Pimp gets one on Pop Dog, and then Elige grabs 3 and finishes off the round pretty easily. It's not looking good right now for G2. If they can get... I think they'd be happy with 4 rounds at this point.
Well, picks are going to come in. Not good timing for JDM. Goes for the Molotov. Sees a lot of players pushing in. What can he do? Nitro's there with the SMG as well. And between the two of them, they are going to completely cut G2 down. JDM eventually did fall, so that's going to be an AWP that needs to be brought back to hand to save some money, and it is. Nitro picks it up. 10-2 here. G2 squandering rounds. These gun rounds, they're coming back into them. And they're going for, like you said, heads-up picks, not getting anything through Ivy especially, and they keep trying to go for it. Obviously, in that case, it was a pistol round. You can accept that they're hoping to try and rush it down, but that did not work at all.
Though they should go for a fast play right now. Like, that's what I'm expecting to come out here. But if you're on the side of Liquid, you're going to be prepared for that. You're going to know what's coming. It looks like this is a fast play as we're seeing smokes coming over mid, 2 players making their way nice and quick. This is exactly the same as what we saw before. Shox throws the molly, throws a pop flash, and then pushes towards the bomb train.
See if he can get anything for it this time. He can't quite see Elige through the smoke, and there's JDM again. Consistent. Gets the tag. Gets another one there. Body falls. He's looking for another one, but there isn't going to be any because there's not enough of G2 Esports on the map to even fill a teacup, let alone Ivy is going to be screened now in a 1v4. Again, the fast play gets completely slapped back. It's going to be Team Liquid to lord this one over G2 yet again. 11 plays 2.
I feel like we just saw this on the Fnatic game.
It feels like a repeat, it really does.
Yeah, the AWPs are doing work. We saw Twist doing a lot of work with the AWP on Train for Fnatic, and now JDM and Pimp, they're combining really well. Being consistent, they're making the frags they need to, and they're stopping G2 in their tracks, who have to force buy out these last 2 rounds.
And this would be just another punctuation mark on a bit of a weird record for G2 lately. By weird, I mean not great. The tag onto what Shox there is going to be pretty darn nice. I believe that was JDM with it, and he follows up nicely. Gets the kill. It was Pimp that got the first tag. And now Scream, though, the one taps, there's 2 of them. Will that be enough, though, as Body wants to try and make something happen on the B site? Is really just a mild distraction there. Smith wants to follow up, but Hiko stands his ground. He sets his feet, and it's going to be RPK left to plant the bomb. He gets at least that. A bit of money, a bit of currency in the hands of G2. Coming a little bit late in the piece, I'll be honest with you, but now RPK hoping to set himself up. Flash in, Molotov will follow. He's going to be shaking him out of position, but nice little pick on towards Nitro. Needs to walk across the flames, and that puts him down to 41. Pimp with the AWP, getting up close perhaps for a pistol on this occasion, and it'll work out quite well. The 5-7, going to be just what the doctor ordered to finish that one off, and it's a 12-2 scoreline here. This is not just a weird, weaker map for G2. This is a crushing domination so far for the American side.
We saw something fast come out again from G2. I know it was a fake out mid, but Scream was able to pick up some instrumental frags, and then they could get on the site, and it was a 3v1. Scream, sorry, not Scream, RPK did a good job to get the bomb down and make it a 1v1 situation, but we've still seen better play when they're going quick.
Well, that's what the solution will be here to G2 Esports' problems. There's probably a myriad of issues underpinning that in itself. All right, early peek towards Ivy. This could be kind of ugly here, or will he catch someone out? He doesn't see the AWP off towards the side, and Body, in fact, was able to protect Smiths with that one. But Elige over on the side, a little bit more backward positioning here, not getting too much in the face. And Scream, who's been the one normally to open these rounds up, realizes that he's got to do it himself yet again. Elige won't see him coming, so Scream at least gets him. That's his first of the round. He'll know that Nitro will probably be lurking towards Ivy. He knows there's usually two players that go there, and Pimp, look at this aggression. Gets himself back around, through Pop Dog, finds Scream. That's the man who was supposed to carry it through, and Pimp gets a second. 13-2 at half-time. We're getting a few of these games so far tonight, Sponge, or today if you're in America. But Liquid, my God, they are flying high, and G2 look disheveled, to say the very least.
Yeah, great form by them. Elige, once again, putting up big numbers. That's 20 kills in that half. You know, you saw a few highlight frags here from the T's. You know, they made a couple of good shots, but it was all about Liquid. The two AWPs combining of JDM and Pimp making a lot of nice frags there. We had Elige just doing his bit, getting 3 to 4Ks every few rounds. And it's hard to deal with multi-frags coming out like that, you know? At the end there, it just looked to me like G2 were throwing their bodies into it and hoping the best came out. But, yeah, it didn't work for them.
If I were Na'Vi, I'd be paying attention to this. That's where a lot of their problems have been as a CT side playing on train, and it's worked so well here. The double AWP was prevalent, and because Liquid had the economy to keep fueling that one, you can see why it's such a big part of their play and a big part of why Pimp's in there. But we were straight back in. It's going to be the pistol in the second half now. No breaks for you, ladies and gentlemen. We're into the action here. Liquid on the T side now can close it out with a pistol round win potentially.
Pimp was basically a bit of bait out mid. They're using a smoke and flash to focus the CTs on him, but now they're coming out Ivy. They're going to get absolutely slammed by Scream and RPK, who are going to shut this push down. And
that's putting it lightly, absolutely slammed. It's funny because you could see that Scream was a little bit slow to respond to RPK. Like, he peeked out, saw more than two players, tells Scream, presumably, and Scream turned at just the right moment. It's a 180 snapshot to their head there with the USP. And that's the lifeline for G2. They managed to pick that one up here as well. And no messing about. 2 SMGs coming in, 2 UMPs. They want to try and shut Liquid down now as well. To lose in this anti-eco round for G2 would be it. You'd be absolutely done. Not only would you be tilted off the face of the earth, but you'd also not have the money to carry yourself through the next few rounds. Early peaks towards Ivy here, just to catch if there's going to be a slow roll play into aggressive fast push through Ivy. It's not there.
They're able to rotate and cheat inside now. They know there's nothing in team mid either because Scream's gone aggressive on that part of the map, and they're going to have potentially 4 players on inside ready to receive this Liquid lineup. You've got 2 trains of thought right now. You either force play into this round and try and finish the game as quickly as possible and get G2 while their money's low, or you take the ecos, you get it all happening for the first gun round, which is what it appears like Liquid are trying to do, and then eat them on, fight them on equal terms, not eat them.
Eat them?
You could eat. Well, maybe I'm a bit hungry.
Are you? We had curry before.
Yeah.
It's not done you over?
I'm not really hungry.
I'll get some pizza. More good takeout food. Can't get much of this time out, to be honest, Chad. But G2 can get himself around. That's something at the very least. Body and Smith, yeah, I mean, just buy back up into the SMGs. UMPs are working fine. And Team Liquid actually still forced into the pistols here as well. They had enough dosh left around for even some utility.
This is what happens when you don't force into the second. You know, you just grab a couple of pistols. You can rebuy the pistols. Only $300, get a little bit of utility. We're seeing smokes and a few flashes. So give yourself a little bit of, you know, arsenal to work with. And they're going to bust out team mid right now.
Shocks to be ready for this one, though. Elise's bomb and his head sort of go flying at the same time. And they've cut this one down. So Liquid, I mean, yeah, they save a little bit in that previous round and then sort of go pistols here as well, but they don't really dent much on towards G2 Esports economy here.
And if you look at the money on G2 right now, we've got 9K on RPK. We had 7 on Scream before he upgraded, 8 on Shocks, 7 on Smiths. They're all looking pretty good right now for money. So even if they lose this gun round, they'll be able to grab another one. The thing that gets scary for Liquid is they let this economy build up. So if they can't win this gun round, the money on G2 is going to be insane.
And again, for G2, if they're planning on the long haul on the CT side, where a couple rounds lost here and there can completely decimate your economy very quickly, it's very unforgiving, that's what they want to do. They want to build up this sort of economic buffer here. The double orb coming into play very quickly. In fact, straight off the back, first buy round, it's going to be Smiths and Shocks.
Just looking at this CT setup, they've gone straight into a passive one. Where, like I mentioned before, Scream on that ticket booth in connector, Smiths at the old bomb train, orbing towards Pop Dog, and RPK so super passive on Ivy. He's giving up all that territory. If you were the T's and you're going there to find a frag, you're going to be able to walk all the way up and you're not going to get harassed until the very corner. So if they were to explode on the outside yard, it's a retake setup for G2.
Yeah, they've got enough sort of smokes to sort of cover off the two tunnels as well. They're laughing, at least when it comes to the plant. But I think Liquid want a bit more than that. They want the W. And Shock's going to Molotov early on. Smoke comes out in front, doesn't quench that Molotov though. Shock's also responds with his smokes, which does, but it's a little bit too deep for Liquid there to fancy pushing through 2 smokes. And a third even dropped down here by G2. So that's a bit of that utility being drawn out here for G2. Expending a few of these smokes on the B side, and you can see that Liquid wait for those to dissipate. Counting down the seconds here. And they might lay and execute into B.
Yeah, definitely going to be a B hit right now. Oh no, it's a fake. The bomber's going back to Pop Dog. So Body, if he can stop this push, they'll know it's a fake. He grabs one nice and easily. At this point, he's communicating to his teammates that, yeah, look, it's not here. We're all good. Stay where you are. And Smiths is going to take down Hiko, stepping wide. Goes for another shot. Unsuccessful.
Smoke by Scream there just to cover his cross if he wants to get closer towards the bomb site, and he does. He'll take that position now, and Pimp needs to be ready for this. They could come from anywhere. Spray down, doesn't really connect. It was Scream actually backing away, and Pimp again ascends to the top. It is sent down to the bottom quite quickly there with legs played at odd angles. It's going to be the 2v4. JDM and Nitro without time to work with. They had to wait it out for so long. They just don't have enough to work with.
Yeah, look, so the save's a good option. They don't have enough money to really pull a proper buy together. So having those 2 rifles gives them a chance into this round. Now they just have to decide if they want to buy into it with Elige, Pimp, and Hiko all sitting around 3K.
And that seems to be a resounding no, or at least not in terms of big guns. It's going to be just the Tech 9s and nothing for Hiko. Okay, there we go. A bit of a late buy. So still some deliberations occurring at the beginning of that round, but enough now to get 2 rifles in there plus the AWP.
This is where the problem of having someone not experienced in the in-game leader role, you're buying late, the decision's getting made in the very last few seconds of freeze time, and Hiko bought after freeze time had finished then. So no real, strong leadership there making the decision before freeze time ended. Maybe a pause could have been used. They still have 3 as far as I'm aware up their sleeve.
Liquid is so close here, really.
This is a nightmare situation, right? This is what you don't want to happen. Let that economy build up on G2. The confidence starts to build on players like Shocks, who have been having a bit of a shocker so far. And, you let them run away with it. And once they string, 6 or 7 rounds together, it starts to get very scary.
Only 2 T-side rounds have been won on this map between both teams here. Not ideal.
This is some crazy passive Counter-Strike we're seeing from G2. It's like they're scared to play up. Oh, Smiths, that was a crazy flick onto Nitro there. He will get traded out by JDM, who did save that ult from last round. The retake has to come in here. They have a lot of utility on RPK to negate a few spots on the map. Body picking up Elige.
I don't think the plant's enough here, really, for Team Liquid, especially when they force around this round. They need a bit more. JDM only be able to supply 1. Now it's going to be Eco coming straight forward. Oh, there's a player behind him as well. There's even one on the side. Shocks eventually falls, but Eco's going to have to give himself away there. 5 seconds left to go. Should be enough here. Just. And RPK will get it done.
Still really close, considering, they were the ones who had all the big guns. I don't know why they gave up so much territory on inside. They forced themselves into a retake. They have the money to, rebuy up and not be too worried, but that just seemed way too easy. They got the side that if they had better guns in that situation, that would have been all over.
Liquid starting to have to think now as well is that G2 have set themselves up for a retake in so many of these rounds, and especially B. If you can access the bomb site, plant, and then sort of play, ahead of your utility, then smoke it after the fact, you can control so well. But no, this time they're going to try and play towards Ivy here. So RPK going to be pressured quite heavily in this round with 3 in his direction. And Pimp's already trying to, rile up the natives a little bit now, moving on towards A.
Yeah, here's this Peacemaker execute I was talking about where they smoke off of the 5 train. It's been used and more pressure's been put on Ivy than normal. Trains will come out in the bomb train. It's a nice frag by Pimp there. The side is all theirs at this point.
Yeah, it's not just nice. It's absolutely necessary here. Smiths now has to peek from this really weird angle. This is not really wants to try and play from at all. And Shocks is on the other side of the trade. So both of these AWPers are kind of in crappy positions to make this retake. So a heck of a lot is on Body now. Not only to get the information, but also to get himself a kill while these AWPers gain better positioning. Hiko is on the lurk. As per usual, he'll be waiting for Smith to get a little bit too far down the train, and Elite finds Shocks very quickly on. That's one of the AWPs down. The second fires off, gets him one, but Smith eventually is going to have to fall here, and Body will follow. The Body hit the floor. It's 14-7 here for Liquid. Finally break back in, but the money's still good for G2. I like the execute towards Ivy. With RPK playing it so passively there, he couldn't do much more than trade.
Normally what happens with that strategy is they do those smokes and they push numbers out towards the E-box and then fight that way. But instead they changed it up from what they normally do and send a lot of players towards Ivy. So it's a good little mix-up by Liquid. If G2 had done their homework, it's a great counter. The problem you have right now if you're G2 is you just invested into double AWPs again, and now look at your economy. We have an MP9 on screen. We have 2 UMPs on Body and Shocks. It's not looking good.
Body and I mean, Shocks and Smith didn't have great positions to use those AWPs towards the later part of the round either, so money not well spent perhaps has put G2 straight back down the loo in terms of money.
This is the best way that they can use these UMPs, so they can get up in their face and negate that issue that they have with distance. And maybe pick up a cheeky frag or two. And they'll be on a fast flank outside if an execute does happen.
Well, like how Nitro's checking this one. No, Elysian, Nitro both sitting it right back down. Shock's going to push on this one, finds one, sees the bomb go loose. That's a lot of information to gain and to give. Going to back down Brown Halls now. He knows he has the smoke there, so this is good. This is some Weasley play, but JDM spots his head just lingering above the smoke as it clears. Smith's so able to do work on towards A, but I think Liquid at this stage is going to go right. It's off to B. Let's get the plant down. Let's control this side. And JDM is waiting for a peek here from Connector. He sees one player go past. He sort of goes for that one and commits to the shot. He's not able to connect it. Smith's on 1 HP, and he's lost RPK as well. This is a diabolical situation. Match point comes up. Liquid patiently whittled through the economy of G2, and now it's almost broken.
I think I'd really question if I was G2 rewatching this demo. I know Shocks is the main voice in this team, but he went for the double AWP really early on their T side, and he went for the double AWP really early on their CT side. I just question if it's necessary. He's such a good rifler. The way that he plays it's very explosive. He can get up in any position and be successful. So I'm really surprised that he opted for that double AWP so early. We know that Smith struggled with it in their last map, so maybe he thought he needed to fill that void. But
that's never ideal anyway.
No, you don't want to be doing that, especially when you're considered the star player in the team. You don't want to be playing outside of your comfort zone. But we haven't seen a good performance from him over these last 2 maps, which we put a lot of pressure on him to play well. But he is the massive star in the squad.
Honestly, he should be used to it by now. He knows that's the deal. I mean, he and Scream really have to accept that that's their position. That's the way G2 Esports is sort of how they play around them as well. So I don't want to hear complaints. Double 5-7 here. Smiths and Body those ones. They've got a bit of utility, I guess, as a result of sacrificing the rifles here. And Liquid are being very patient here. Looks like they want an execute. It's now under a minute left in the round, though, so this needs to stick.
They have enough time if they really want to fake this, but I would throw these grenades and see how G2 react, because they have to play quite an aggressive style of Counter-Strike, because they don't have everyone doesn't have rifles right now. And that's what they've done. They've taken it a bit slower.
Oh, this is good. RPK's been drawn across to B, and Pimp and Nitro with the bomb are in Ivy. So Elige now, he's got a bit of work to do with these other 3 players from Liquid, but this is a great way of hedging their bets. The bomb is on a direct collision clause with the A side, and G2 have been so drawn across here. They have to believe this. There's so many people from Liquid here. Body goes low, but his 5-7's just not enough. Hiko with the big 3, and that's going to be the shutdown there. It didn't even come to fruition, the plan of sending the bomb through Ivy, because Liquid with 3 players, that was enough to decimate G2 on B.
Basically a 3v5 there at the end. Crazy. Even if those inside players had gone down, they still would have been able to plant the bomb outside and given themselves a decent after-plant situation. Them pushing T mid, they thought they had all the information in the world, but it worked against them there. Yeah,
absolutely. I love that. I mean, that's a hard fake to disbelief as well. Yeah. When you see this, okay, first of all, it's like fakeception, because you've already made it execute smokes on towards A, right?
Yep.
Then you see them go to B, and you're like, okay, this is the extent of how much they're faking. No, you got 2 players in towards Ivy now. I mean, we might have had to see Liquid fall back on that strategy in the last round. If he could even get 3 massive kills over on the B side, just decimating G2 and their presence there in general.
Yeah, that was really good. Obviously, they didn't take a pause, so that wasn't Peacemaker's input. Someone's actually made that call, so that's creative. Good to see, you know?
No doubt about it.
And versatile Counter-Strike.
For G2, what a situation to be in right now. It's 0-2 already in the piece.
The positive is they don't have to play again today, so they can go and mentally reset. They look a bit shaken right now. You know, I think Shock's getting AWPs early is indicative of either Smith's impact, or they had a predetermined, you know, idea that 2 AWPs would be good against Liquid. It didn't work out that way.
There's no better way to burn through an economy you've built up on the CT side than to keep buying those double AWPs.
Yeah, we saw the same thing with Na'Vi in their online matches, having to get the AWPs in the hands of Simple and Guardian because they both wanted to AWP. So it can be very detrimental to one's economy.
Hiko in this match there as well, not exactly top fragging, but I mean, he's getting these multi-kills where they really count. He's been the man that's been able to, when he gets on towards a site, pretty much shut it down. And try as they might, I mean, this is a situation a bit unfortunate for Hiko. That was the 1v3. You'll notice, though, look at the way the bomb's flashing there as well. It was very close. RPK just had that.
Yeah, there wasn't too many like huge highlight moments. Everybody from Liquid was playing quite solid. You didn't see anything super flashy. They just got it done. Good showing by them. I'm impressed.
Quick and dirty and solid stuff as well. Liquid being solid. Whoever would have thought. Let's now head over to a break. And, of course, our next match, it's a best of one, of course. It's going to be between Virtus Pro and Na'Vi. Not one to be missing out on. We're going to be seeing that one in just a second. But before we do, make sure you get yourself a little app called the Score Esports app. It's available on iPhone and on Android devices. It's going to be keeping you up to date over the entirety of the weekend. If you can't watch all the games, that is where you should go to keep up to date with how they are proceeding, as well as getting a normal sports and scores and articles. Of course, now to a break. We'll return, Chad. One more for us from the night. It's going to be a cracker of a match as well. VP versus Na'Vi. One for the ages. We'll see you then.